I had to get myself prepared. When I sat down, I said, all right, are you ready? Get them old tear ducts together because it's time for pose. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for season 1, episode 5 of Pose. Like I said, I've gotten myself into a little regime of get yourself together, get ready, get your tear ducts all in order because you know what we're given. You know what it's given. So let's talk about Pose. This is the episode 5, okay? First things first, we take a trip further back in time to 1982. And we are at a ball. It is actually the very first ball that our girl Blanca actually walked. And it was a realness category, and it was an open to all realness category. But it just so happened that, you know what? Let me take that back. I don't think it was open to all. I think it was Femme Queen. I think they had to be trans. They were pre-op. So I'm going to go because later on they were reading and they made some reads about you have to be a girl to walk with a girl. So I'm going to say that it was probably a Femme Queen category. But Blanca walked and she was a fresh, new, pre-op, transsexual. A Femme Queen, if you will, a trans woman. Now, the terms keep changing, but back then it was Femme Queen, tranny, you know. But she was, she was new, and she wasn't totally soft yet. She wasn't beat. She didn't know what she was doing. Baby, her shoes. Whoo! I said, girl, no ma'am. No ma'am. She had a true live pair of dick beaters on, honey. I said, girl, no. And they were white, honey. I said, whoo, white pumps, honey. True signs of an old whore, honey. I said, look at her. And this little dress from down to the 5 and dime. I said, okay, baby, oh. And her wig was, she was busted. She's still pretty in the face, but just busted. She come out there walking, baby, and Pray Tell gave her, who is this, honey? What house do you belong to, honey? Who's your mother? She said, I don't have a house and I don't have a mother. She said, we know, honey. We know. Look at her, honey. I said, oh, Pray Tell. Tore up. Gonna say, we know you ain't got no mother, honey. You done came out here with that shake and go wig. I said, oh, Pray Tell, you stop it, honey. So she walked and, it was cringy. The girls are mean, honey. And she looked around and she's looking around the ballroom. She's standing there, honey, and she was just taking the moment and she's being Blanca. Blanca's different. She's different. She don't crush well. You can't crush her spirit well. She from some good type of stern, sturdy stock. So she don't break well. And she was looking around and she caught Electra's eye. Electra was up in the balcony and Electra looked down at her and she's like, that's okay. She kept walking, baby. She finished walking the category. She wouldn't walk off. She wasn't going to cry and run off. She finished walking the category and said, can I have my scores? They gave her scores, which is different. Like I've told y'all before, it's different than now. Now there's none of this scoring business. Now it's either tens across the boards or chopped. You ain't got to run off, baby. They send you away. Like you be waiting on the Sandman to come and be giving, bitch, come on here. Whoop, and they gone. So she did that. And then after the ball, she was outside. And the girls were talking about her real bad. And I was like, they are mean, nasty, vicious queens, honey. And they were giving her the blues. And she was giving them some lip back, you know what I mean? saying, well, what kind of sisterhood is this? And they said, girl, to be a sister, honey, you got to be a woman, honey. And you're a boy, honey. You're a boy in a dress. You might as well have walked the Butch Queens up in drags category. That's why I said it must have been a film queen category. They were shading. And baby, Miss Electra was coming out, and Miss Electra was so goddamn clean. That bitch was giving you 80s hair. She just gives you every bit of like, this bitch don't do nothing but sit at home and watch Dynasty. I live. But she went over there and she got to reading them bitches. She said, you low rent, bad hand job giving hookers. I said, oh, going back down to the pier, honey. I said, no, she didn't. Then told the girl, said, what is that on your lips, honey? Is that your favorite lip gloss, honey? Sperm. I said, oh, okay, honey, they have nothing to say. They was giving. I said, they were molded, honey. And she told Electra, she's like, thank you so much, you know, this, that, and the other. And Electra was like, girl, I can't even hear the apology for the rumbling in your stomach, child. When's the last time you ate? She took her out to eat, and then we were seeing, they were showing us who Electra was before she became a complete bitch. And it didn't surprise me. She was actually a good mother back then. Like, she was a good queen. And she just got jaded somewhere along the way and became very materialistic and nasty. But she was a queen that had a heart at a point. Um, and it was cool. And this whole episode was really about Blanca and, Blanca and her coming of age and Electra and what Electra's actually going through. It was a real good episode. But so this is where they get started. And so she took her to eat. She's eating and she's telling her, she says, well, what do you want, child? What would you want? She said, I don't ever want to be cold again. And I want to be real. I want to be like you. I want to be beautiful. And she said, I'll probably never be as passable as you, but I want to be real. She said, girl, do you think I woke up looking like this? You think I started off looking like this? No, girl, it was hard. And she said, you want to be a woman? It takes time. It takes patience. It takes sacrifice. But you have to really want it. And that's, she said, honey, I want to be real, baby. And she told her, she said, she was talking to her, saying something, and then Blanca said to her, she said, you come with me, girl. You come home with mother, honey. And she said, you want to be my mother? And she said, no, I don't want to be your mother. I am your mother, honey. And y'all know what happened, honey. The tears just start running. I said, oh, here we go, honey. So I was like, so that makes sense. That's how that got started. And I was like, okay, cool. So let's go back to 87, 80. Well, I guess we're probably at like 88 now. They're in the house doing like spring cleaning. She's fussing, just teaching them regular stuff. So I'm cleaning this fucking house up. They was running around in there, doing what kids do. Goddamn dumbass Angel is back home. I knew that she had left the apartment, at Christmas time, but I didn't know the goddamn janky queen done left altogether. And I went back home. I said, girl, you are a fool. And Blanca started talking to her. She's like, girl, what are you talking about? You want him to leave his wife and all of this kind of crazy. Girl, are you crazy? You done came back here? Goofball. But anyway, so they were doing all that. The phone rings. She goes and grabs the phone. And you hear her yell out, and they come in. She's on the floor. And Damon's like, what's going on? And she's like, my mother died. Her real mother, her birth mother, had died. And I was like, oh, Jesus, this is not going to be good. So Blanca goes back down to the neighborhood. She goes to the house, and her sister opens the door. Well, first a little girl comes to the door, cute little girl, comes to the door. She's like, Mommy, there's this lady at the door, whatever. So then her sister just being rude, honey. She comes and she's like, they're like, well, who is that? So, it's my brother. All that old bullshit. And so it's Mateo. She'll say, my name is not Mateo. I don't go by that. And stop with the disrespectful shit, bitch. Anybody got time for all that? So I was like, all right, so cool. So they're going through this. The mother had died. And the sister just had this whole venom with her, which, I kind of expected because of just the things that Blanca was saying about, the way she was raised and different things. And we found out through the program, Blanca was like mommy's little boy, hanging with her in the kitchen, teaching them how to cook and all these things. And that's those little games that mothers play. You already know. Your mother knows before anybody else, honey, that she got a little twinkle toed sissy, honey. If you have put any time in with your child, if you have gotten to know your child, you know before anybody, you know before the streets know that you have one of us, honey. You know it. Now you could try. My mother did it. My mother kept trying to tell herself that I was normal, honey. Girl, you knew better than that, honey. You knew better than that, Miss Patty. You stopped these fucking games, honey. You knew better. Now, you may not have wanted it. You may not have appreciated it. You may have thought that you weren't going to stand for it, honey. But you knew that you had something special, honey. Now, you just didn't know it was special. You thought it was going to be some shit. But it wasn't. It was something special. But mothers know, you know. You know. You know. And when you're around a kid, the people around them know. The grown-ups know. They know what's going on, child. So that was that. But, then the mother, she just was, she wasn't going to have it. I'm not going to have it. You have those ones that do that. Same thing with Damon's mother. Damon's mother knew what she had, but she thought she could control it. I know the story too well. You think you can control it, and you'll control it out of them. Either some people try to beat it out of them, try to church it out of them, and there's people that will try to control it out of them. None of that shit works. None of it works, honey. It's a high level of sugar, and it's like diabetes. Diabetes will kill you. You do know that, right? A high level of sugar always wins, honey. Diabetes, if you don't control the sugar, or you think you can control it and you don't do the right things, it'll kill your ass. That whole little sugary gay thing, ain't nothing you can do about it. It's going to come out. It is going to win in the end, honey. It is what it is. Just accept it, deal, and move on, honey. All this misusing your children and treating your children bad and wanting to beat your kids. You can't not beat gay out of a little boy. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Not at all. Not at all. All you're going to do, you're going to either ruin your child, break your child, or you're going to get your child into this mindset where they think they're supposed to be beaten, and then they're going to mess around. They're going to go find a man any old way. It's going to be a man anyway, and they'll find a man that beats them, and then you'll be mad about that motherfucker beating on your baby when you was beating on them first. Child, y'all better get yourselves together. See, I don't went all the way up on my soapbox. You all better get yourselves together. Be real with yourself. Don't waste all those years. You know what I mean? Trying to do whatever that is you think you could do as a hetero person. Honey, you're not going to do anything but make things bad. And then you're going to spend many, many years after you all get, older, trying to repair and trying to turn back time. Time waits for no one, and you cannot turn it back. Why go through the whole hassle of hating your child and making your child hate you, and then y'all have to try to fix the shit later and hope that nobody dies before it gets fixed? Hello, somebody. Somebody. I know somebody out there hears me, honey. Stop this bullshit. Okay? Stop this bullshit. It's just been going on too long. It's stupid. It ain't never going to change. Gay has been around forever. And gay is going to always be around like roaches. It's never going to go away. It's never going to go away. As long as there's people, there are going to be gay people. Period. Period. And nothing you can do about it. Deal and move on. Or move on and shut up. That's the other thing. You can move on and shut up. But all that abuse stuff. Anyway, it's okay. But I'm back. Okay, so the sister, she's on some fuck shit. She told, oh yes, how am I supposed to tell a 10-year-old that my brother is actually a woman? And instead of, she's like, tell her the truth. Tell her the truth. That's what you're supposed to do. And how am I supposed to tell the family that you're actually not dead? And she's like, what? You told people that I was dead. She's like, no, I didn't do it. Mommy did it. Who says that? Who says that? But even with all that, Blanca still loved his mother. Went to see Pray Tell. Pray Tell told her, and this is the other side of the thing that I was just harping on. Parents. Now with the kids, with you gay kids, you gay ones that's listening to me, honey, you have to, depending on what has happened, okay, because I went through a lot of shit, but depending on what has happened, now I ain't down with the too much of the physical abuse thing, I ain't down with all that. And I'm not down with any type of sexual abuse at all. None of that shit. Because just because somebody thought you were supposed to be gay didn't mean okay, go stick them, honey. It's, stick them, stick them. No, no, no. Protect them. That's what you be doing. Protect them, protect them. Because somebody will want to stick them, and it ain't time. It's not time. God damn it. So that I ain't got it for none of that shit. Okay. But what Pray Tell was telling Blanca, y'all have messed around with the bullshit, and the time got away from y'all. You weren't able to tell your mother that you forgave her because she really did forgive her mother, but you never got the chance to tell her that you forgave her. She didn't get the chance to tell you whether she did or didn't forgive you, and now her ass is dead and her toes is pointing at the goddamn moon, and everybody's standing around here sad, looking stupid. But you have to let it go. You got to let it go because parents make mistakes. They don't know. They don't know what they're doing, and they don't. They don't know. I mean, I knew a little better once I did. When I adopted my children, I was older. I wasn't in my 20s. When I was in my early 20s and stuff and running around with my godchild, when we were trying to raise him and get him straight, child, we didn't know what we was doing. We just doing the best we could. You know what I mean? Now, by the time I got to Trayvon and Dawntre, I know more so some of what I'm doing. But that's it, some of what you're doing, because every child is different. None of them come with a direction manual or instructions or anything like that. They're different. You got to figure it out, and then you got to work with the shit. Parents make mistakes. They make mistakes, and especially with the first child as opposed to the other children. The first one catches hell. The first child catches hell. You hear me? Because the parent is growing up with that child. Period. And even like I said, I adopted later on. You know what I mean? I adopted later on. What just the transition from Trayvon into Dawntre, which was a 3.5 year difference. Child, there's mistakes that I made with Trayvon that I didn't make with Dawntre. There were things that I could cut and be like, oh hell no, we ain't doing that shit again. You know what I mean? But parents are growing up right along with the kids. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. So, like he was saying, you got to let some of that go. Parents make mistakes. He was absolutely right. Now he told her, don't worry, because she was worrying about going to the funeral and the other family members and people having things to say. Damn them. Because this is about you and your mother. This is about you having closure with your mother. This is about you paying homage to your queen. This is about you being able to hold your head up and say, okay, you know what I mean? So that's what that's all about. So the hell with what anybody else has to say. And he told her, you have a new family now, and we'll all be there with you. And they did. In solidarity, they were all there. They got dressed up real nice. Nobody was fagging out and being inappropriate or any of that. They went very respectful as a unit. They went, sat down in the back of the church, went up there, and she did what she had to do. She went up. The sister was still on that old disrespectful bullshit. Why are you here? Same reason you here, whore. Same reason you're here. And she told her, I have just as much right to be here as you do. And then the brother gets up and brings his ass up there and tells Blanca, you need to go. And they want to keep on calling her, what was her name? Mateo. It's like, whatever. And he's up there with the, you need to go, this, that, thing, and the other. Baby, And that damn pray tell came from the back and stood up there next to Blanca and said, she has just as much right to say goodbye to your mother as you all do. And a little kindness is not going to hurt you all. It's not going to kill you all. A little kindness, just a little bit. No kindness, no understanding. I said, all right, pray tell, because you came in and he didn't disrespect the family members, because that's another thing. You don't want to get in that space in between Blanca and her people and you're being disrespectful either. That's a strange line to walk. And I've had to walk it. I've had times. Maybe I'll do some story times at some point. But I have literally had times with my gay children where I have had to have a moment with their birth parents. I've run into that, and I've never had anything that went, south or anything like that. There's been literally 3 times that I can think of right off the top of my head where some of my gay children's parents have thanked me later on down the road about the interaction I had with their child. So I mean, and that was pretty rewarding, you know what I mean? But I was just doing what I felt like I should do. But there are times when you run into, as a house mother, you will run into those awkward moments when you are, you're standing in, because I'm literally standing in the gap for your ass. So don't try to give me too much. But at the same time, I got to watch myself with where I'm going because you're actually talking to this boy's or girl's mother or father. They are still their mother and their father. And no matter what is going on, those children still love their mother. It's really no different. And I think a lot of that played into my whole adopting and my adoption role, where how I don't, how I handle my adoptive children's parents, because it's that dynamic is the same. Children who have been thrown away, they still love their parents. So now they don't want anybody beating up on or misusing their parents, even if their parents are wrong. They don't. So I thought that was really good. Really, really good. Ryan did a great job of that. And Janet and the whole crew. They did a great job. Right there. And then, of course, we always have to have that queenly twist in the back. As they're leaving out of the church, there's 2 women in the back, older women. And the one, she, you always get that smart mouth whore. I don't know what, one of them was an aunt. I don't know what the other one was. She may have been an aunt too, but she probably was like a friend of the family, a mouthy ass friend of the family. But she was back there talking, I can't believe Mateo done turned into a transvestite and this, that, and the other. They gonna come in here and, there's always that bitch that got too much to say. Got a couple aunts and cousins and friends of the family like that I've had to bop over the years or curse completely out and embarrass over the years at a function. But as they're getting ready to leave, she said what she had to say. And then when they were leaving out, she went the other route and gonna talk about Blanca and her wig. She got that old raggedy wig on her head, and this, that thing, and the other. What? No, nothing wrong with her head. Actually, Blanca's hair looks better than hers, which is generally the issue. And baby Pray Tell leaned over there and said that wig on her head has nothing to do with her saying goodbye to her mother. It has absolutely nothing to do with it. Now, she said that frizzy perm you got, that ain't defining nothing about what she feels for her mother. I said, oh, not the frizzy perm. I said, God damn. Okay. Then they shut her right on up, and they were out in the vestibule, and the one aunt came out, or the aunt came out and invited Blanca to come past the house for the repast, to get some food and this, that, thing, and the other. So then when they showed them down at the repast, Blanca went by herself. The rest of the folks didn't go. The rest of the family didn't go. She goes in, and the aunt was sitting talking to her, and they were like catching up, and everything was really good. She made her very comfortable. The rest of everybody else was really shady across the room. See, I would have never gone. That's just I don't do where I'm not wanted. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. See, because I will fight. Now, I may not have fight with my mama laying up there in that box and all of that, but baby, once we get past that and mama they done threw the dirt in mama's face, if y'all continue to disrespect me, I'll beat the shit out of some of them, but that's just me. Um, so Blanca's there, and the aunt tells her, "Get you a plate, get you a plate to take with you, baby. Cause you look like you ain't eat, girl. You're so small, girl. You look good though, but you're so small, girl." So she go in there getting a plate, and there's this whole book of recipes that her and her mom used to work out of, and everything when she's a little boy. And she said she wanted the recipes, and the sister comes in, and the sister's like, "You're not taking anything." And then the brother comes, and Manny, his name's Manny, and Manny is saying, "You need to leave. You know, you're not taking nothing. We'll take what we want, and then we'll decide what we're going to sell, this, that, and the other." And she's like, "Well, so you're telling me I can't have this book of recipes, but I'm looking at you, and you sporting her jewelry already. Seriously? Well, if you'd have been a better son, this, that, thing, and the other is what Manny said to Blanca." And Blanca's like, "Aren't you the same one that had to go to the rehab like 2, 3 times? That's you, right? Baby." Manny grabbed Blanca, baby, and gave her bam, bam, bam. I said, "Oh, now come on, Manny, bitch. Bamming your sister around like that. It was not cool." And then gonna call her a child molester. I know what you gays do. Y'all molest the kids. Molest the kids? What is you talking about? I said, "See, here we go with the left field bullshit. You're sitting over here giving me recovering addict, crackhead motherfucker, and telling me about somebody molesting some kids. That shit ain't got nothing to do with what Blanca's plight is. You just on some fuck shit, Manny. Junkie motherfucker." I said, "You know what? I'd have had to bash Manny. I'm sorry. I really would have had to do it." Now, the sister, she kind of, she stopped it from going down because the baby had come, the little girl come in and said, "What's going on?" I said, "Go to your room, go to your room." She stopped him. Blanca ran on out. She didn't even take the damn plate. She just ran on out, grabbed her coat, and left. And I said, "This is crazy." I mean, it's sad to see how people can just keep coming at you when you got one person who or is not even being, because she's not being disrespectful, she's not being combative, but the more nice and sweet she is, the worse they're getting. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, what kind of conscience do you have? None, really. None. And this is your brother or sister. This is a sibling that you grew up in the house with. Like, sir, you don't have no love for him at all? Child, get out of here, honey. That's a hot mess. That's all a mess. So anyway, that was that. She went on, she talked to Pray Tell and all of that. Of course, he, talked with her, they ate, and just a mess. It was just a whole mess. But anyway, okay, so let's go talk about something else right now. Stan. Old Stan the man is down there making money moves down there to the Trump organization, okay? And every time something happens with Matt feels as though he's stepping on his toes because Matt is a high motherfucker who's not doing his job. That's all that's really to it. He's a high motherfucker that's not doing his job, and Stan is really doing well, and it's starting to show, and other people are noticing he's got a promotion. So he's moved on to, he said, "You're taking money right out of my pocket." Gets all into this thing with him, and he's like, he's like, "I learned so much from you. You brought me in. I have so much respect for you, this kind of thing." Very humble. And he told him, "You know what? Now you took money out of my pocket, and I'm going to show you." I said, "No, he didn't." He was pissed. So it's on. And I said, "Oh, Lord, he's going to go after Patty." I mean, I knew it. Right away, I said, he's going to go after Patty with his shady ass. You high, snorting ass bastard. I said, "Oh, my God." So that was that. He took his ass right on over there to the house. He's sitting with Patty, dropping all the tea on her about Angel. And I don't believe that Matt actually knows that Angel's a trans woman. He just knows about the apartment and the financial part of it and the time that he's spending with her. He gives her all the tea. Okay, all the tea. And then he's hitting on her. And she told him, "You kissed me when you came over here at Christmas time. And even if I wasn't with Stan, I wouldn't mess with you. I'm not no ditzy New Jersey wife. I choose this lifestyle. I chose this. I chose him. I ain't hungry like that. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm not that girl." And he told I wouldn't mess with you even if I went with him. He told her, "Well, that's fine." And then he went the other route with her and told her, "Well, whenever you're ready to stop with this and you're ready to choose a different type of life, look me up because I always have some jobs. And good, I'm looking for good people." He offered her a job. So again, that got her wheels spinning too, because she's a go-getter as well. But just putting contention all into their marital situation, I said, "Oh, he's dirty. He is dirty. He's miserable and dirty, and he's a junkie. Misery loves company." So I said, "All right, well." Patty took her ass on down to the Angel's apartment. Angel ain't there. The landlord, with his nosy ass, and told her, "Oh, that lady didn't live there. She didn't move on out to stay. She went to ask him about the lease. I can't really tell you all that. This and that. My name is Patty, and I just want to know, if that's my husband's name." And the man said, "Well, I got 3 daughters, and if I had a daughter, I would want my daughter." And they took her right on back in the office, gave her all the tea. I said, "Oh, in this day and age, baby, you would be sued, honey." But she gave up all the tea. She had all the information that she needed. And we're going to talk about Patty in a little bit. Okay, so let's go back to the ballroom. This was like one of my favorite scenes of this episode. They go to the ball. Miss Electra's in the hospital. She's at the hospital getting her surgery done. And while she's getting everything done and she's healing and all of this, baby, the category is Model Effect as a house. Well, baby, Lulu and Miss Candy decide, let's get it on. Electra ain't here, girl. We're gonna leave this house. We're gonna grab some shit while Electra ain't here. Baby, they go and they propose a challenge to the house of Mugler, honey. I said, "Oh hell." Honey, Mother Mugler, they said, Pratel got up there and said, "Do we have a challenge? Mother Mugler, do we have a challenge? Or you're going to stand up for the challenge?" Baby, she kicked the chair over and said, she had this badass jumpsuit on with these beaded fringe hanging on the one side. I said, "Come on, honey." They said, and the bitch's hair was, I said, "Bitch, work, honey." They said, "Let's get it, honey." And Model Effect, honey. And when they were calling out the challenge, they said, that Pray Tell lets Miss Candy have it. He said, he said, "We have a challenge from the children of the House of Abundance in Miss Electra's absence." She said, "We're more than just her goddamn children, Pray Tell. You call us by name." He said, "Oh, excuse me. Okay, Miss Candy." Baby, I about fell out. Fell out. But anyway, so Miss Candy and Mother Mugler got to walking, baby. Miss Candy was clean. I said, that bitch went and got her body done. Honey, Miss Candy was clean. Do you hear me? And baby, they was getting it. And they was getting it. He was like, "Oh, look at Miss Candy." I said, "Oh, Pray Tell so shady." And then they said, "Do we see any children?" Because it's Walker's house. "Do we see any of the children?" Baby, the Abundance children got when I tell you, Lulu and Miss Candy had the house in order. They were clean as hell. I said, "Y'all better tear the runway up, honey." And the Muglers was doing their thing, but baby, the House of Abundance was together. You hear me? They were together, and they was getting it. Baby, they even had one of the a little stud, baby. They said, "Oh, look, a little Lilo Dyke over here, honey," and she was getting, honey, every member was clean. Clean. They did it. They did it down. And the very last one, honey, Miss Lulu came and brought it up the rear, honey. They was like, okay, Miss Lulu was the secret weapon. That bitch was marching, honey. She had a double breast, and those was the big thing right at that time. Those double breasted dresses. They were double breasted It looked like a double breast jacket, but it was a dress. That was the big thing in the late 80s. The women was tearing that look up. And that bitch had a fierce old hat on, baby, and she was marching. And then they was giving, okay, and they was, they be trying to throw a little shade, throw a little shade. Now we need a little something to take us over the top. Because, they was really like neck and neck. Baby, Miss Lulu, Miss Lulu's a fierce old Latina, honey. Miss Lulu went around there and took her hat off, baby, and took her hair and flung it back, and they said, "Oh, bitch, no goddamn extensions, fish, honey." I said, "Work, Miss Lulu." Miss Lulu was secret weapon, baby. She let them have it. So naturally, they stormed the ball. They won. And Pray Tell said, "Oh, Miss Electra, you better get your ass up out of that hospital, girl, and come and reclaim your house, honey." I said, "Yeah, she better." And he said very clearly, honey, Miss Lulu and Miss Candy, honey, surely to be up and coming mothers. I said, "Oh, Miss Electra, girl, you better get up, bitch." Because it do happen like that. It do happen that way on the ballroom floor, honey. So, Miss Candy's a mess. Miss Candy got it out for Electra anyway, because she sure did. She gonna say, when they said they was the winners, Miss Candy gonna turn around and say, "Yes, motherfuckers." I said, "Oh, she's a mess." Miss Candy's something else, honey. That bitch is a problem. I like her. She's a problem. But anyway, so we see Electra laying up there. Nobody, all the kids, all her kids, none of them came to see her. None of them. And then Blanca came. And she was just being all smart and curt to Blanca. And Blanca was like, "Girl, I don't care. I know what you're doing, and it's fine. And you could do all of that stuff." She said, "You're a terrible mother. Terrible. You're terrible." She said, "You're terrible. You don't care nothing about the people. You think that we're all here just to serve you and this, that, and the other. And I don't know where you went wrong, but girl, that's not the shit. That's horrible." And she told her, "But the thing is, girl, you are a horrible mother, but you're the only mother that I have left." She told her mother had passed away earlier that week. "Baby, you saw the veil come down. And we got the real Electra show back up. And they had a whole moment there. I started up again. And it was the whole thing. And she told her, she says, "Does it hurt?" She said, "How does it feel?" She said, "It hurts more than I ever thought it would hurt." I thought, "I bet you do." And they talked about it. But she said, "But at the same time, I feel better than I've ever felt. I feel complete. It feels complete." So that was that. Then we see Electra come home. She'll change her heart. She comes home. She has prepared this beautiful layout dinner for the kid. Oh, that bitch had this. She had this fierce ass caftan with these gold bracelets. I said, "Miss Electra, bitch. Miss Electra be so goddamn done." And had her hair wrapped. That bitch was clean. But anyway, she had prepared this dinner for them, and they were eating high, baby. They were eating caviar. And they was getting it. I said, "All right, honey." And she told them, I'm gonna be better. I'm going to be better. I mean, I understand y'all didn't come to see me, and I really got what I deserve. I've been a bitch. And I have to be a bitch because I am the mother. But it's not necessary for me to always be a bitch. Sometimes I can show a little sugar, honey. So that's what we're going to do. She said, we're going to storm the Mother's Day ball. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. So we're going to storm the Mother's Day ball. Same time, Blanca and her kids over at their place, they're getting ready for the Mother's Day ball. They have their own thing. She says, "We're going to walk this ball in honor of my mother. She wasn't the best, but she was mine, and I love my mother, and she deserves homage. We're going to walk this ball in my mother's honor." That's all their grandmother. And they were like, they all with it. Because first it was fussing about the costumes and things that they were going to be wearing. And then when she said that, they were like, "Okay, mother, we'll get it together. We'll wash it up. We'll pluck these feathers, and we'll get it together for Granny." Now, on the other hand, over there at Miss Electra's, she done gave her kids fierce old Saks Fifth Avenue and Lord and Taylor garments, honey. They was ready, baby. Nordstrom's and things. And they was like, "Oh, bitch, she's good shit here, honey." And I said, I don't know if those were her clothes, but whatever. But they had the fine garments. They had garments. And they were happy. So I said, okay. So they were going to have this little showdown. And she said, we're going to take all the bitches and stomp them down until they're dust, especially that Evangelista. I said, bitch, I thought you had to change your heart. But that's the ballroom culture. You know, it is what it is. You know, it was etched in stone. Yes, Electra loves Blanca. Blanca loves Electra, but girl, on this ballroom floor, girl, let's get it, whore. And they had the ball. Of course, Electra's house won, but baby, it was a battle. They were all so clean. And Pray Tell had did a garment for that goddamn Blanca. It was ballroom worthy, honey. Because, you know, child, Miss Electra came in there, baby, giving them body, and she gave them very Diana Ross, honey. Who's the boss? Who's the boss? Ross? That's what she gave him, honey. Had this yellow coat and opened it up. It opened up like a real big lemon, honey. I said, girl, get down. It was sharp. She had this black jumpsuit. Very Ross. Very Ross. And she had the wavy hair, bitch. I said, come on, Miss Electra. And then when Blanca came through, that bitch was in a powder blue and it was beaded and stoned to perfection in the shoulders. And it was just yards and yards of chiffon. I said, pray tell, bitch, you had better sew, honey. And Miss Blanca was marching. She had her hair up. She looked so pretty. She had like a mini dress underneath. Um, and it just had all of this train. And she was getting it. They all looked really, really good. It was a battle, baby. It was a battle. I said, okay. But now, what ended up happening was Miss Patty. Miss Patty had done went and told good old Stan that she was going out for girls' night. He watched the kids. Miss Patty got all her shit. She done took her bull ass down because she said, did Miss Angel have a forwarding address? She done took her ass over to Blanca's house looking for Angel. Oh, but let me tell you about Miss Patty. Miss Patty was cleaner than a motherfucker, too. When she hit the streets. You know, she's giving you rich fish clean. What they're all trying to achieve at the ballroom. That bitch is really that. So she was clean. She looked real cute. Hair was sharp. Bitch's makeup was laid. She hit the street. She going looking for a competition. I said, I said, girl, you know, when you go looking for something, honey, you're going to find what you're looking for. And it's generally a problem. She went to Blanca's house. Poppy was there. Poppy was the one late, running behind. And he thought she was coming to buy drugs. And she's like, no, 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 I'm looking for Angel. And she's like, oh, I know where Angel is. Where do you know Angel from? Said, you a cop? No, I'm not no cop, honey. I know her from work. She said, oh, okay. So he thinking she just old rich looking whore. Poppy, you know Poppy's goofy with his cute little self. She says, well, I have a Lincoln downstairs waiting. He said, oh shit, we're gonna be riding in style. He said, okay, so she gives him a lift to the ball. He goes, come on, girl. He jumps out and runs on up into the ball because he's running late. Got to get there because remember they walk in his house. Honey, she goes in, baby. When she came in, you know, the girls was going and they was like, oh, fish. Yes, bitch. You is cunty, this thing. They thinking she a drag queen because she was all done. They said, bitch, look at her nose. Bitch, who's your doctor, bitch? Yes, fish. Yes, white fish. And that bitch was walking, and they steady thinking she's a queen. She not. She just a regular woman that's so motherfucking beat tail. And she was. Miss Patty was clean. She came in there, baby, and you know the category was going on, baby, and she was sitting there like looking like, oh, this is interesting, honey. Yeah, this is interesting. Oh, look at all these sissies in here. This is cute. She's looking around, and then, baby, they said, you know, the house of Evangelista. They said, oh, here she comes, baby. Yes, Miss Angel. Baby, she seen Miss Angel, and that bitch was spooked, honey. She gave. I said, uh-huh. Girl, you're spooked. Yes, she's a sissy, and yes, she's bad, bitch. And you are spooked, honey. You know you got a problem. So that was that. And then after the ball was over, Miss Angel was outside. She was out there giving Electra a compliment, Electra being all mean to her. She like, okay, bitch, whatever. She turns around and she says, I'm Patty. She's standing right behind her. I'm Patty. I'm Stan's wife, honey. And Miss Angel looked like she's seen a ghost, honey. I said, no, this is what you wanted, wasn't it, whore? You wanted all this confusion, Miss Angel. So here you go. You got it. Now I'm interested to see where this is going to go from here. Look, I didn't talk so long, honey. 43 minutes. All right, whatever, y'all. But we're done now. But that's where it actually ended at. I said, oh, this is giving us drama, honey, this week. I said, come on here. Oh, I forgot something. I got to talk some more. I'm sorry, y'all. Right before the ball, right before the ball happened, Blanca's sister showed up at the house with the book of recipes. And the two of them stood in the doorway and got some of the contention straightened out. A lot of things got cleared up. Like she told her, she said, Mom, I lied. Mommy always talked about you. She talked about you all the way up until the very end. She did love you. And she told her she did love you. She says, and she said, you know, it was what it was. She says, well, I wish she had told me that. She said, well, that's just not her. That's just not how she is. She wasn't that way. You know, that wasn't her. She said, like, I never really wanted to be home and raising you and taking care of you. But I just did. I never even got told thank you, you know. And she told, because she's older, and Blanca told her, she said, hey, thank you for everything, you know. And the sister turned around and she said, Blanca, called her by her name, and she looked at her and she told her, she said, you are all of the good things about mommy. Like you are all of it. Like all her good points is you. And I was like, because he even looks like her, or she. She even looked like, when the little boy looked like the mother. And when the mother's laying there in the casket, they showed the mother laying in the casket. It did look like a fishy version of Blanca. I said the casting was dead on, dead on. But I said, oh wow. So that was really, really good. And that's where we ended out with Patty and Angel standing face to face. So I can't wait until next week to see what's going to go down. So keep watching Pose, children. Keep watching, honey. This is some good shit, honey. All right, I'm gone. I'm talked too long. I'll see you guys later.